Welcome back. Before we mail in our early ballot or step into the voting booth in November, friends, neighbors, and sometimes pollsters ask us which candidate we're supporting. But what if we didn't reveal everything to those pollsters, or maybe answered the way we thought they wanted us to? As Ed Berliner reports, it's happened before.
JD, when it comes to every political season, there is one thing we as voters always desire but rarely get enough of. And when it comes to the battle between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, this year is no different.
And the truth shall set you free.
And therein lies one of the main talking points about this presidential election, the telling of the truth.
It's become socially desirable, especially if you're a college-educated person in the United States of America, to say that you're against Donald Trump. The hidden Trump vote in this country is a very significant proposition.
Have you been able to put a number on that?
Yes.
Good. What do you think that is?
I can't discuss
Oh,
it.
come on.
No, it's a project we're doing internally. I call it the undercover Trump voter.
As detailed on our website at Newsmax.com, this idea about undercover voters actually dates back to the 1982 gubernatorial election in California, detailed succinctly in this 2008 report from CBS News.
A pre-election poll conducted by the Field Poll had Tom Bradley, then the mayor of Los Angeles, leading George Deukmejian, the Republican candidate for governor, by a good, reasonable margin. And thus was born the Bradley effect. A black candidate, Tom Bradley, was ahead in the polls, but lost on Election Day.
If we're going to be fair about this, Conway has a point, all of it based on the fact Donald Trump has turned conventional political wisdom inside out. Conway could be nailing it, that the, quote, hidden Trump vote in this country is a very significant proposition, unquote.
And do you know who you're voting for yet? Don't know, do you? You see what just happened here? Let me tell you something. That is a cultural thing. He knows who he's going to vote for. He's just not going to tell me.
If that is the case, the November surprise could make Hillary Clinton and her camp another footnote in the history books of those who were overconfident and failed to understand that in politics, sometimes the numbers do lie. It has been noted by more than one political expert that there is strong evidence the Bradley effect was evident in American politics in the 1980s and the early 1990s. But to many, they claim the evidence is just as strong that it doesn't exist here in the 21st century, which will not provide a warm and fuzzy feeling for everybody heading for November. JD, it's all yours.
Thanks, Ed. You can join our conversation by calling me at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Well, let's discuss it and some other topics. And to do so, we're pleased to be joined by a lady who has been very involved in political action committees in this campaign, pro-Trump, of course, Amy Kremer. She's the former chairman of the Tea Party Express. Likewise joining us, attorney and political commentator Sam Nunberg. He's checking in tonight from Newsmax, New York. Let me tell you, folks, I talked about this earlier in the program. Donald Trump insists he is not going soft on illegal immigration, and he's been doubling down on his plan to build a wall. Now, we've heard different pundits and some folks concerned that he is softening the tone. For example, Ann Coulter is really not happy about it. She tweeted out the following message, writing, well, if it's hard, then never mind. Trump, to take a person who's been here for 15 to 20 years, it's a very, very hard thing. This is the crux of the argument, Amy, that a lot of women and some independent-minded Republicans don't like that notion, deportation, and Trump is changing his tone. Do you think that's the case?
JD, I don't think he's changing his tone. And I actually think what is going on here is a lot of speculation about policy. This softening of his, stance, I personally think is ridiculous. He has said he is going to build a border wall. He is going to deport the 86,000 criminal illegal aliens that are in this country. That's going to be right off the bat. He's going to do that and secure the border wall. Then we have to deal with the people that are here illegally. So you know, you cannot deal with our immigration problem until you have a secure border. And until that border wall is built, we're not going to have a secure border. I think that he is, first of all, Donald Trump is a compassionate and caring person. And I think what he is doing right now is going around the country and talking to people and listening to people about their concerns. And he's going to put out a policy. But you know what? It's more important for him to get it right and delay it and get it right than to put it out and to have to change it. And so I think a real leader would go and listen to the American people. And I think that that shows he is a compassionate and caring person, and he's going to do his best to make the right decision on this.
So leadership is listening, Sam, but it's not as if border hawks have any other candidate they can flock to, is it?
No, they absolutely don't. But you know, perception is reality, JD, and when we're explaining, we're losing, as you well know. And the fact of the matter is, I watched that Hannity town hall, and it seemed to me that Donald wanted to change the policy. He doesn't want to deport all 11 million people at once. Now, look, I always thought that that was a little over the top and it was a little radical. And I think that, and in fact, the problem is, though, in general, is I don't really think politicians, or especially Donald Trump, are going to get credit, are going to be able to earn voters by quote unquote softening this stance. And in fact, he may lose enthusiasm, and he may actually lose more conservative voters that are his bread and butter right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's see what our viewers have to say about it. Let's go back out to my old stomping grounds in Arizona, Buckeye to be precise. Rick is on the phone. Rick, welcome to Newsmax Prime.
Thanks, JJ. My wife, Carla, is here with me tonight. We're great followers of Newsmax. We're having problems out here in Arizona right now. We haven't got you this week on TV, but we've got you on internet.
Great. NewsmaxTV.com. We're glad you're with us. And of course, we're also offered out there by Prism TV, so check that out. Your comments on illegal immigration. Do you think Mr. Trump is making a shift? How do you react to it?
I don't think so a whole lot, JD. I still think he wants to protect the borders. I think he still wants them to build the walls, and we need to fight for that. You know, you were a strong defender of that when you were down here. We appreciated that. You know, my wife and I, we believe very strongly in protecting our country. You know, it's national security too, JD.
It sure is. Border security is national security. And Rick, I'm hearing from you and your bride that you're solid behind Trump, right?
Yeah, so very much so. We sent one of your people, Priscilla, Penelope. She wanted a picture of our Jeep. We got Trump signs. We got Newsmax signs. We got
well, good. We'll make sure we get that, and we'll put it on the air, okay? Listen, Rick, appreciate the call tonight. We'll be looking for that photo. So you heard what Rick had to say from Buckeye, Arizona. You might say the buck stops in his eyes there, and he's still solid for Trump. It's also worth noting that it's the company a candidate keeps. Jeff Sessions in the United States Senate has been the most consistent border hawk. He appeared on Fox and Friends earlier today. Let's listen to what Senator Sessions had to say.
The most important thing is to focus first and foremost on a lawful system that protects the interests of the American people first. If you enter into the country unlawfully, you're subject to being deported. That's just what the law has always been. But we have this large number of people that have been here a very long time. So I think what he's saying is, let's prove the weakness in so many of the plans that have been offered over the years is that they've given amnesty first and promised enforcement in the future.
So, Amy, I'm curious. Charles Krauthammer and others say Trump's done a 180, kind of like Marco Rubio or Jeb Bush. Do you see anything that would indicate that?
No, JD. I mean, he is firm on that border wall, and he has said he's going to deport the criminal illegal aliens. He's not going to give amnesty. The part that we have to figure out is exactly what happens with all the people that are here, that have been here 15, 20 years. He hasn't said they're going to stay and they're going to have a path to citizenship or permanent residency or whatever. He has not said that. He has said that's what we need to figure out. We are humans. I mean, we do have compassion and are humane. And so it's not an easy, I mean, the reality of the thought of rounding up 11 million people or more and deporting them immediately, I don't know how you would do that. I mean, that's always been an issue. But we're speculating on what his policy is. And until he comes out and has a written policy and it's set in stone, you know, I think we need to give the man a chance and let him work through this with his advisors and the American people. I don't think that there's a need to get our feathers ruffled over this right now.
All right, last word is going to go to Sam. Sam, 30 seconds. If you were advising Trump, and you used to, do you have any words of wisdom tonight you can share with us?
Well, I would certainly want him to contrast with Hillary Clinton. I would certainly want him to contrast with Hillary Clinton, and I would want him to, first of all, say that while he's saying his citizenship is off the table, if it was up to Hillary Clinton, she would be granting every single one of these illegal immigrants automatic citizenship, and she would. And I think that if we have that choice, that the American people will go to his way.
All right. Sam from New York and Amy from Atlanta. As always, we appreciate it. We'll have you back again real soon. So Hillary comes out and plays the race card. Trump calls Mrs. Clinton a bigot. Tom DeLay was saying this thing is just getting started. We're going to take a little break, catch our breath, and we will come back with a panel to discuss the race card, bigotry, attacks, and more. The presidential political season is in full swing, and we'll have more on it when Newsmax Prime continues.